Good evening to everybody and welcome to another session. This is our live stream on Saturday evening. I think it's the 7th of November. And welcome, we are going to be starting our music performance in just a few minutes time. But I realize I have a bit of a smile on my face. Even I am relieved this evening. We are changing the program ever so slightly. So this evening's in concert with myself, Christopher Daigen. We're coming to you from our home in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa, for those of you who are just joining us. And we have about an hour program of some wonderful piano music. And this evening I had originally advertised there was going to be the Dumki Trio, and that's been postponed till the 21st of November for various reasons. It will take place. And then I decided I was going to play a program of very exciting, brilliant classical music, and it is just two things. It's too hot today. It's incredibly hot. I think it's well over 30 degrees still in this evening, and I'm going to be keeping the air conditioning on tonight. But also that program is not ready, and it's the type of program that one wants to feel absolutely comfortable with. And my enthusiasm and my ambition may be to be able to program certain selections as quickly as I think I'm going to reabsorb them into my head is just not working quite as quickly as I'd like to. So I'm keeping up with it, but it's going to come. It will come next week. I'm sure it'll be ready next week. So next Saturday we will have that and our program will move on. But also it's been a very difficult week. It's been a very stressful week, I think, for many, many people, and including myself. And so I'm relieved that I'm not going to be jumping through many hoops tonight and trying to play a virtuoso program of brilliant classics. I'm going to be playing a selection of very calming, beautiful music, because I think that is what we all need. Even myself, I need it too. So I'm often very concerned that the programs that I play, that I think, well, I've played this piece too many times in the last 6 months. Well, you're going to hear them again. I don't think I've played anything too many times. I was having a chat to friends of mine, the Du Toit family in Middelburg, who are ardent supporters and who told me last night they've actually watched all 63 streams. They have not missed one of the sessions. So well done. Congratulations to you, the Du Toits in Middelburg. And please, everyone else, let us know. I'm very curious and very keen to know actually how many of these you have watched. I know some of you have watched almost every one of them. I'm not sure if anyone else has actually watched every single live stream. That's real dedication and support. Thank you very much, Du Toit family, and anyone else who is still sticking with us. And even though I try to vary the programs and it is a performance, it's a concert of some sense, I also realized in our chat last night that in fact it's really good to hear pieces of music that we know. We often love hearing, if we have a particular favorite recording, a CD or LP or a song, we don't listen to it once, we listen to it as often as we can, because it brings such joy and memories and such association as we get to know it even more. So I'm not going to shy away from playing some of the pieces that I have played quite regularly. I don't think I've overplayed anything, but these are some of my favorite pieces that I'm going to be able to play that fit into this beautiful, calm, gentle and soothing mood. Calm in the chaos as we need this evening. And it has gone 6 o'clock, so I'm going to dive straight in. I'm playing most of the pieces in groups of 3 this evening. I'm going to start off with the opening prelude, such a beautiful chordal progression, just simple chords, not even a melody. The prelude in C from Bach's 48 Preludes and Fugues, the opening from Book 1, such a beautiful, gentle, calm piece of music. Straight after that, I'm playing an Andante from the Sonata in D major by Mozart, K311, and the third of the set, the wonderful Adagio, also the slow movement, the middle movement from 3 movements from Beethoven's Sonata Pathétique. These are Beethoven Sonata particularly well known, the Bach particularly well known. So 3 very broad and soothing, rhythmic, very gentle, waving rhythms to start off this evening's program. three exceptionally beautiful pieces of music and three favorites of mine. I think this whole program this evening is going to end up being a selection of my own personal favorites. I like that Bach because of its simplicity. There's no real melody. It's just this undulating wave after wave of beautiful sounds and beautiful chords. And the Mozart has such a simplicity about it, not only in terms of its construction, the way that it's divided quite neatly, so neatly into two parts, and it's free of all darkness. There's such incredible just purity. There's light. There's a transparency and a lightness throughout that slow movement. In fact, the whole sonata, I must play that whole sonata, the K311 sonata, indeed, and one of our streams coming up. And then the last movement, the last selection, the Beethoven Sonata Pathétique, it just has such an incredibly rich sound at the piano, and it really draws such richness and such generous warmth out of the instrument. And it's actually I must say, it's a great joy for me to be able to play this evening, be able to play music that I really feel comfortable with. Several people have pointed out that my playing sounds a little bit different when I read from music as when I play from memory. And certainly that is a point that I think one is trusting and judging much more by your ear when you're playing from memory, and you're able to build the kind of structures of the piece that much more clearly than when you're looking at music and you've been distracted by what it looks like visually on paper. I'm very interested in this idea of how written music, notated music, actually is very limited in many ways in terms of how we have to, or how music is written down, and how we have to, as musicians, create music so much more beyond. Well, that is part of the art of it. That is the skill and the art of being able to create what is beyond the page. And also to be able to play, my piano was tuned. My local piano tuner, James Webster, was here yesterday. He helped me also fit a humidifier or dehumidifier. Suggested that I've been suggesting for many years that I get one to keep the stability of the humidity in the room at a certain level. And certainly in this part of the world, and today it is so humid outside, that poor machine has been working very hard and produced over 6 liters of water in one night, which is incredible. So, here we go. Piano sounding lovely. Thank you to James for tuning and for making the piano sound very beautiful today. I'm going to go on with 3 pieces. I've got 2 on the board. I know Barry, who's on the control, has focused on there. 2 on the board, but I'm going to play 3 for you. I'm going to start off with the beautiful Nocturnes, very mysterious opening for this piece of music, a very still night atmosphere of great mystery, mysterious sounds, not sure where the mood really lies, and then the turbulence builds into a storm, maybe a crash of lightning. We had a huge storm in this part of the world the other morning at 2:45 in the morning with great crashes of lightning, and then the mysterious mood returns and resolves itself into this very calm and generous moment. The second piece, a little bit more busy, the very famous Fantasy Impromptu, piece of music that Chopin wrote and didn't publish. I've always said that it was because it was he thought might have resembled a composition by a composer. I always thought his name was Ignaz Moscheles, I pronounced it, but apparently the correct pronunciation is Moschel. And the other thought behind this piece is that Chopin might have given this as a private gift, in fact, to the Baroness d'Este. And what a wonderful composition, what a wonderful gift to receive this incredible piece of music as a private gift. And so only after his death and many years later was this piece published. He thought it would be completely inappropriate to give someone a gift and then sell it for publication, which I suppose he does have a point. And then the third piece of music I will play also, they're bound by the same key of C sharp minor, the very beautiful Waltz Opus 64, number 2, the very famous C sharp minor waltz. I love this piece because of its repetitive nature, the refrain, the very lilting refrain which comes back again and again and again, and the incredible voicing and chord progressions in the middle section for me are just absolutely magical. One of Chopin's perfect pieces. The waltz in C sharp minor brought to a close that section of 3 pieces, all by Frédéric Chopin, and all in the key of C sharp minor. It's one of Chopin's most favorite keys, I think. And as I've said before, Chopin loves to write in keys with lots of black notes in them. Rather than C major, he writes an F minor, C sharp minor, D flat, F sharp major. And the principal reason that his understanding of the keyboard is so incredibly natural and so incredibly instinctive, and so something I'm really fascinated by, and have been doing a little bit more research and reading and thinking about that. In fact, the reason why Chopin liked those keys, as he said, was because the long fingers, if you look at your hand, your middle 3 fingers, these 3 fingers are much longer than the others. So in fact, when you put your hand naturally at the piano, these longer fingers fall naturally on the black keys. Whereas if you're playing in C sharp in C major without any black keys, you actually have to play with a less natural hand position. And this whole understanding of how Chopin's technique and even his pianistic style is created around the absolute natural ability of the hand. It's incredible. The more I think about it and the more I start unraveling this puzzle, I'm starting to think, well, I'm onto something here. That in fact so much of Chopin's music and the key to his music and the control of it is all got to do with the natural shape and the natural use of the hand. And I'm hoping to include some quite dramatic music by Chopin, a very brilliant piece of music, in next week's program. I'm going to continue now with music by the composer Manuel Ponce, the Mexican composer. Very beautiful piece of music that I like. I'm interested in Mexican culture. As you see the Mexican design of the studio and the house and the various elements you've seen popping in and out of the images with Talavera pottery and mirrors and fabrics, this beautiful fabric that we have with us today. Behind the mirror, sort of a summer Frida Kahlo vibe going on here. Interested in Mexican culture, so Mexican music is particularly interesting, and Manuel Ponce being one of the great Mexican composers is a very beautiful intermezzo. Straight after that, I'm going to play a composition by Claude Debussy, one of my favorites from the early 20th century, Debussy's Arabesque, and arabesque being a flowing line, whether you find it in ballet or in writing, calligraphy or graphic design. And nevertheless, in music, it's the same. These beautiful flowing lines of the music are so evocative and so beautifully captured by the use of the pedal. The pedal sustains the sounds and creates all these elements together. And I think I ran out of space on my menu board for my program this evening, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to play after that. I'll have to keep you in suspense. Let's see what happens. There were so many pieces, and I couldn't fit them all on. So Ponce, followed by some Debussy and something else. I'll keep it a surprise. Well, that of course was the famous Clair de Lune that brought an end to tonight's program. Clair de Lune by Claude Debussy. A beautiful piece of music that is actually a very early composition, very early in his career that he wrote it and later published it even in an early set. It was a very youthful composition apparently. But a very magical piece of music and something that he will always be remembered by. The beautiful atmospheres of the moonlight captured in that. Before that, a nocturne of its own style by Schumann at evening from his Fantasiestücke. That was the surprise piece that I wasn't sure what I was going to play. And then before that, in that set of 4 pieces was the Debussy Arabesque, Arabesque number 1, and starting off the Intermezzo by Manuel Ponce. It does bring an end to this evening's program. I really don't think we can have any music. That is the final word. Debussy, Clair de Lune seems to me to be the final word on this program of calm, relaxed, beautiful, soothing music. I hope you've enjoyed something different. If you are able to support us either with a ticket purchase for this particular session or with a donation or weekly, monthly or even a once-off occasion, we're very grateful for every support that does come through. And we do look forward to seeing you on Wednesday, our next piano hour session with a varied program of some fun pieces, including some improvisations of my own original compositions will be on. And next Saturday, then I will have the brilliant, very exciting program of classical music ready, I'm sure, to be in my fingers and ready to sparkle and dance its way across the keyboard. I'm sure to be ready by then. It gives me another 7 days. It's incredible how quickly the time passes between each session. I think, oh, well, I've got another week. I've got another week to polish these pieces, and I think it's my brain's getting full. I think my head's just getting full of music, and it's not all quite going out or coming in quite as quickly as I'd like it to. And as I say, I really like to play properly and be prepared and not make an absolute hash on these live streams, because they are going out to a number of people, and I really would like the quality of the music and the quality of the performance to be as the best that I can make it throughout. So thank you for joining me tonight. It is almost 7 o'clock, coming up for 7 o'clock in just 2 minutes time. Slightly shorter program than usual, but nevertheless, I'm sure you've enjoyed this very beautiful selection of calm music. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm going to play out with a short improvisation, and we look forward to seeing you on Wednesday and next week, Saturday.